Yeah, that's where we are, and we're active as well as we go into the the first 3 hours of the day here on at Power FM 987 at Katlego. Legodi underscore Kidiboni is here. Kidiboni, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Katlego, how you doing, man?
I'm okay. How's it, Kidiboni?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. I'm
Yeah.
I'm happy that we're doing this on the 14th.
You know what? And that's how we roll. But I'm glad that you're here with us this morning. We're trying to make life funnier, man. I mean, there's a lot of bad. There's a lot. We're tense as a nation now. I mean, you try to even greet someone in the lift there, and then you see that, I want to not make sure people are going through the most here. But we really take joy in finding people like you that are able to make us just, forget about all of the hardships that life would present and throw at us and just laugh a little, which is why this morning we want to understand the work that you're doing, journey with you as well, but also get a sense of what the future holds for Kidiboni. I touched on a bit around your life and what you have been up to in terms of what I have in front of me, but it will be nicer to hear from you, Muna Kidiboni, as to where did it all start and how then do we find you here? Has it always been like this? The stars, have they always been aligned? You knew from a young age that, you are the life of the party when it comes to, you making people laugh. You make people forget even about their hardships here. Comedy, how do you come into this space?
Hey, man, I think it was a calling, you know what I mean? So, always been like that. I've always loved comedy, you know what I mean? And like I said, I'm a bit nervous, but we're doing this on Friday the 30th, So yeah, it's one of those.
Come on! Don't overthink things.
No, but
Don't.
comedy,
No, no.
no, but listen, guys, there's comedy everywhere. Like you just said earlier before you introduced me that you want me to break the ice. I'm like, wow, the choice of words as well. It's freezing cold, and you're talking about me breaking the
Yep.
ice. I'm like,
Come,
but
come, come! Break
But I've
this
always
ice.
loved. So, but I've always loved comedy since I was a kid. You know, what I mean? So from high school, I was a class clown. I loved sitcoms as well. And on top of that, I think comedy is nice because now whenever there's comedy, there's joy. You know, what I mean, comedy has the power to ease the pain whenever people are going through things as well. You know, what I mean? Comedy is a way to it's what we've learned as comedians that the nation lives to comedy whenever we're going through trying times as well. Like with the 49 people that left the country. It was funny, but we're like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but uh there's comedy everywhere. So I think even you as well ever realize like every time when you with your friends or with your family, whenever there's laughter attracts maybe like people. Laughter attracts joy. Laughter is the best medicine literally because what
Mm,
we realize comedian something else that we realize that when people come to comedy shows, it's people that are going through the most. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's people
yeah.
that are carrying a nose on their shoulders, and they come through comedy shows. We make a laugh. We make them laugh. When they leave happier. They leave with the weight, without that weight lifted off their shoulders. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite interesting. It's a great space to be in, and it's a great career choice for me. I wouldn't have chosen it over anything, and I would choose comedy over and over and over again.
Ah, look at you, man. Look at you. So the stars were always aligned here. So even if maybe it was 10 years, 15 years, would still find you here. Nothing would move you. I want to take you back to our producer, Hendrika, and then we fix the line a bit because you're a bit soft on my end. I want to hear you clearly, Mona, so that we get the best out of you. Kidiboni Mulaudzi, our guest, who's on the other side here, coming through to help us just really go into the art of stand up comedy. You hear hear him just describing, his life and how it all started, and you see him even saying to us that laughter is medicine. Guys, just laugh a little. You hear people saying that you even age graciously, you age well when you are a person that just laughs. So you take life like that. You don't become oh so serious, and just take life as it goes. You don't overthink things. You laugh. It's the best medicine. Let's try to laugh. Let's try to see a light on some of these issues that play themselves out. But we are here with Kidiboni Mlaudzi. We're tending to know him some more. We're tending to understand his future as well in terms of this space. Speaking about the stand-up comedy. And we hear that Kidiboni has been at it, right? 13 years. This is no child's play here, and moving around in terms of just solidifying his name as a household name where comedy is concerned. And you see him saying that, you would come troubled. It will be hard, but just try to laugh a bit. Just try to laugh a bit. And I'm glad that we have you back, Kidiboni. And you were just telling us about this just being medicine, comedy and laughter being medicine because of a lot of issues that people are experiencing on a daily.
Yeah, you find that with us, if you're going through whatever you're going through, we cost like 350, but if you go to a psychiatrist or a professional psychologist, you spend thousands. So with the best medicine and with the affordable medicine as well. So I think comedy is the way to go.
Yeah, I totally agree, 100%. Because you just pay for a ticket, Mona. Just buy a ticket, and then you'll get out of there feeling lighter. I guess this also places a bigger responsibility on you guys as comedians to ensure that you hit the mark, right? You always wonder as to how do you ensure that you really, really, keep us going. It does seem like it's somewhat of a mammoth task, but we look at you guys do it so effortlessly. Yeah, how do you go about that one?
It's the difference between us and the psychologist that we go there, we talk about things that you wanna hear. We're not there, as you're on the couch asking about things that you know what I mean? So so we go through current affairs like most comedy. There's different styles of comedy. Either you do childhood comedy, you talk about your experiences as a person, or you do current affairs, or you do observational comedy as well. So depending on your style of comedy, it's so on a lineup of whatever 7 comedians, you find that each of the comedians does a different style of comedy. So as a comedy fan, you live there feeling good because you get different styles of comedy served to you on a platter. So it's quite exciting.
Yeah, no, it's something that is just so phenomenal, man, to experience as well. And you get a lot of people just targeting where they sit there, in the venue, because you don't want to get a kidiboni.
But that's all. Listen here, the front seats are the best seats. Please don't tell the power listeners others. Listen, guys, the front seats are the best. Don't listen to that. The front seats are the best.
Those are the most amazing. You'll have the best of experience as well. You know what I mean?
So people that have never been to a comedy show, they're like, the front seats. Meanwhile, the front seats.
That's where it's happening. That's where the party's there. Yeah.
Yeah, when you room people will stuck there, but then again, those seats are the front seats because you get to make memories. Like every time I meet people, they'll be like, "Oh man, we're at the show and you're roasting me." So we create lasting memories at the front seat. So guys, don't listen to Katlego. The front seats are the
best. Let's talk about you mentioned the types of comedy and how then we see a lot of you guys as artists approaching this space as well. You are in stand-up comedy, and as I think about it, I think a stand-up comedy would be the hardest of all comedy spaces because it's the real time. You're there. You basically have to capture the room. There's a lot that you're dealing with. You have to be in line with current affairs. and the likes and everything else. People would think that there's a lot of preparation, there's a lot of research that then goes into this space. It's not the same as what we
Yeah,
see on TV when it's a cut and then you can fix and you edit and then you try to capture whatever you're trying to push there. Stand-up comedy, I think, is the most hardest here. Did you
yeah.
just want to find yourself there? You could have gone into your sitcoms and do a comedy there and just find it a little bit easier, but just tell us about how then the dynamics play themselves out and why then you went into stand-up comedy compared to the other spheres of this space.
Stand-up comedy is fun. It's edgy.
Mm,
It's yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Like you were talking about how we prepare like research, because
mm,
now if you don't do research, the crowd doesn't appreciate your art. You need to get to the
mm,
stage knowing what you're talking about as well. And as well, there's competition as well. Like, if it's seven of us on an ensemble show, and
mm,
then now we all doing current affairs, you'll find that everyone will touch on the AfriForum case, you know what I mean? But now, as
mm,
an entity, you need to go there, um, like you need to approach it in your own unique way as well, You need
mm.
to you need to talk about things that no one else will talk about. You know what I mean? It's challenging and it's fun. I'll give an example. So I'm writing this joke about being an adult is hard. Being an adult was
Mm.
hard because now I was on Prime Video trying to watch a movie. There's this movie by Jason Statham called A Working Man. I don't know if you know it.
Yeah.
So the synopsis of the movie is it's a retired soldier
Mm,
gets out of retirement to
mm,
help the family um, rescue their abducted daughter. You know what I mean? And as
mm,
an adult, I'm like, wait, man, I've seen this movie before. This is
yeah.
taken one, this is taken two, this is taken three. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just like you've seen this movie before, but now
Yeah.
everybody everybody gets to like when you go to Nollywood, same thing. You get to see Taken again, but with a Nigerian flavor. Every
Yeah.
time you get you go to Bollywood, same thing. So now it's quite hard, and then but exciting at the same time. So so it's one of those things that everybody's scared to do, but the people that get to do it, they get the greatest pleasure from because now you get to make people's day. Like I've performed for like your as a young comedian, I performed for our late president, Dr. Nelson Mandela. I've performed
Mm.
for Cyril Ramaphosa. I've performed
Yeah.
for Jacob Zuma. I've performed for all our state presidents.
Mm.
So it's rewarding. It's everything, and you get to travel as well. Because now
Yeah.
being away from home sometimes is difficult as well because now you'll be gone for like a whole month or 2 months
Mm.
traveling the world while doing comedy. You get to be homesick, but I wouldn't trade that for anything else. So it's
Yeah.
I wouldn't. 'Cause I had a choice to between being an accountant and being a stand-up comedian, and because my personality is more it fits in within the stand-up comedy space.
Mm.
So it
Mm.
was an easy choice for me. I've
Wow.
the moment I got on stage as well, it's always been fun. So yeah, it's
Mm.
challenging but it's fun. But I would encourage anybody that is a stand-up that has a sense of humor to take stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I think more than anything else, you have to enjoy it. I can, really, it does come through here when you're speaking now that you are in your space, you're in your element, man. We can wake you up anytime, and say, here's the president, perform, do your thing. You'll be able to just do your thing here because it does then come through when you're talking here. But also, when you look at it, it's a journey, right? It's a process. You build yourself as you go along. How has it been? How has the journey been? I mentioned as well that you were part of the people that were in the lineup with Chris Rock when he was here. In terms of the journey, you talk about the fact that you were almost an accountant. You had the choice to choose between being an accountant and a stand-up comedian. I'm sure with the family as well, they would have wanted you to be an accountant than a stand-up comedian. So one wonders as to how then the journey has been to where we find you today.
So the journey has been exciting.
Yeah.
So So it's so so with the Chris Rock thing story. So Chris Rock when he was here
Mm.
the second time we were doing a show at Cool Runnings in Melville. So it was amazing how Chris Rock was nervous. He had stage fright as well. You know what I mean? He's
Mm.
like, yo, Teddy, do you think this joke would work? We're like busy telling him like, yo, Chris, yeah, you can do this one, do it like this, do it like that. So Jenny's been amazing. Um, uh, so when I started, right, it was quite an interesting story. So I've always loved comedy. I remember when the Kings of Comedy was being shown, the fake Kinoko in the movies. I went there to watch, and I kid you not, Katlego, so I watched the movie, the stand-up comedy movie, like 5 times.
Mm.
I was like,
Mm.
wow, this is amazing. And
Yeah.
then when I started, there weren't many comedy clubs in the country,
Mm.
you know. Um, so this one time I'm working, I pick up a newspaper, I think it was the Citizen. I pick
Mm.
it up, and then there was this entertainment section, and there was a stand-up comedy show at Fourways. I was like, wow, there was a
Yeah.
number there. I pick up the phone, then I call the number. They told me that, oh no, the gentleman that produced the show is not here. I should call the following week, when he's in. And I called the
Mm.
following week. They connected me to Mr. Joe Parker, who's my mentor. So Joe
Yeah.
Parker at a club in Four Ways Mall, and I went there. When I got there, it was like magic.
What?
Remy Miller was there, David Carr was there, John Christmas was there. I said you like literally sit down and you see these guys getting on stage, telling funny stories, getting laughs, and then like leaving. I was like, what? Then Joe Parker put me on stage, and 2 weeks after, at Bradford. I went there to
Mm.
Bradford. I remember the first joke that I did. I did a joke about pool, as in pool being a racist sport.
Yeah.
Pool being a racist sport because the white ball is always hitting the black ball.
Yeah.
And then you sink the white ball, you don't lose. And when you sink the black ball, you lose.
Yeah. It's a too
You know,
short.
it was, yeah, exactly. So it worked very well. But now the challenge was, like you're talking about it being a gym, the challenge was us as black people performing in Black Fun was a big challenging because now you see like back then like I think
The race
2004, 5,
demographics.
6 with the crowd as a black person, they expect you to do dumb
Mm.
jokes, stupid jokes. By stupid jokes, I mean like, oh no, black people can't swim. Oh no.
Mm.
And then it was a big challenge because now when you get into smart or stand-up comedy, they wouldn't get the jokes. And then now you wouldn't
Mm.
get laughs. And when you don't get laughs, it's a big challenge, you know what I mean? So we're like, you know what,
Mm.
stuff this. Then we decided like, let's do comedy where people are. We opened the first comedy club in Joburg at our cafe. Within
Mm.
the show was on a Wednesday, but on Tuesdays we did comedy workshops where like, you know what, this is I've got this joke, what do you guys think? And we give each other build, like to help the joke be funnier. And
Mm.
myself, Trevor Noah, Tumi Morake, Eugene Koza,
Mm.
and Trevor Gumbi, we from that we from the Horror Cafe comedy space. Because
Ah.
from that comedy night in Newtown in Joburg, we then launched the Soweto Comedy Festival where we took comedy to Soweto where people are in Pimville as well. So from
Mm.
that energy, from that era, myself, like the Trevor Noah, like your Jim Koza are from there. So the journey has been exciting for me, especially because I think as a black person and as a comedian, it gives me joy to be able to bring in people in the space comedy,
Mm.
help them make careers, and because when they do that, they're able to take care of themselves, build a legacy for themselves, and also make the nation laugh as well. You know what I mean? So
Mm. Mm.
so it gives me joy because imagine like if I can bring in people and make and help you make and help multiple people make careers. Imagine what as all South Africans can do if we use the list that we have to help build the country. I'm building the country using stand-up comedy. Imagine what the listeners can do if they as well, use whatever whatever profession that they're within or whatever knowledge that they have to bring in other people, especially people from previously disadvantaged areas,
Mm.
to bring them
Mm.
into the space so they can play an active role in the comedy space. So the journey has been exciting. Obviously, there are challenges. There's
Yeah.
this thing called dying on stage.
Sure.
I'm sure. if you beat comedy shows, you've seen comedians like struggling on stage. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
dying on stage is quite a challenge as well. It's like it makes 1%. It's like 1% of the whole thing. It's
yeah.
not 0.01. Dying on stage is when you get on stage and nothing is working.
Oh,
It's one of those nights where you get on stage and nothing is working. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
those
Have you had
makeups
those
is part of
moments?
the journey.
Have
Come
you had
again?
have you had those moments?
Every comedian has a those moments. There's
Oh,
not even one comedian.
how do you navigate that? I mean, we're just there looking at you like, okay, we this chap is not doing the things, you know. How do you
There's
come back? Doesn't it kill your ego, your spirit as well, in terms of going into the next one?
Oh, it does. It does. I
Mm,
remember when I started, there was this comedy night in Doornfontein,
mm,
opposite what is now called UJ.
yeah.
There was this joint called Jungle Connection. So Jungle Connection, they used to mix comedy and poetry, right?
Mm,
And there was this MC, his name was Julius McQuarrie. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was Julius McQuarrie. So now, Julius would will put on a poet and comedian, then poet and comedian and poet and comedian.
mm,
So before me, it was a poet, and then Julius gets like a stage. He's like, "Oh, that was Katlego, the poet. Let's give him a
mm,
round of applause." And people go, "Wow," you know. All right, he was
mm.
like the next artist. It's Kidi Wanimarazi. Give it up for Kidi Wanimarazi. And people are like, "Yeah." Then I get on stage. Then I do my first joke. People don't laugh. Second joke, no laughter. Third joke, nothing changed, like no laughter at all. So now, but the jokes are funny, Kato, right? I'm
Mm.
like wondering, like, how come the crowd is not laughing, Then there was this table right next to the stage. Our each dropped on the conversation that they were having, There were two ladies, This other one lady was like, yo, I don't get this poet's poetry. Like, his poetry doesn't rhyme, Nothing happened. Like, I don't get it. I don't get his poetry.
Yeah.
Let's start up a poet.
Because yeah, that's the thing. I'm like you were sabotaged by the fact that you're going after a poet. So
Yeah,
poetry is real things, it's emotions, it's those, and then you come and you want to crack a
that's
joke
it.
here. Hey, Shia,
That's
that
it.
must be so difficult.
And then there was another time when it was, I forgot the cricketer's name. He's deceased.
Yeah.
He was a Caucasian. So now I was invited to come through the comedy at his fundraising event for his family. That was like, I think it
Mm,
was 2 years after his passed on, right? So I get there. I'm ready, my jokes are ready, I'm excited. So now the MC brings on speakers. People speak. People are crying. They start crying, and then they then play that comedian that cricketer's videos of him with the Proteas. Now
mm,
people started bawling. People started crying.
mhm.
Right after the videos, the MC was like, on that note, let's have some comic relief. Please welcome Kidi Murauze. People are
Yeah.
crying.
Ish,
So
man, it's hard
it didn't
now.
go well. So I was there for 15 minutes. I was like, And then there was another show last week that I did for Mr. Oppenheimer, the gentleman,
Yeah.
at his lodge by Kruger National Park. So
Mm.
now it was for his family. It was him, his wife, and his two kids. So
Wow.
now, remember that you've been paid a large amount of money to do comedy for 1 hour,
Mm.
and you're doing comedy for literally two people because the kids didn't care about the
What?
comedian. So now you still need to perform for an hour. Imagine.
And they're not actually in it, like Whew. I want us to wrap up, Monagiri. We're out of time, but let's look at the future in terms of what really lies in the pipeline here. As you are talking about you having to go to the house, and I think of the ways that you can approach then this space. COVID-19 came through with a lot of shock for a lot of artists here. In terms of stand-up comedy, we don't see people gathering in their numbers and the likes. One would believe that you as artists were affected here, but we hear as well at the same time that there could be somewhat of a resurgence here. Did that moment present an opportunity for you to rethink your approach to stand up comedy as we see all of these issues playing themselves out that we have not planned for, we can't plan for, they're natural disasters? Does this actually then challenge you in this space to say, let's rethink how we approach stand up comedy? Do you have to now maybe find yourself playing in the digital space more because that is where then the audience would be? Do you do home visits as well, something that would be different from your typical gathering that people would find themselves at? And also, what does the future hold for you where this space is concerned?
Ah, man. So yeah, post COVID, it was a bit challenging, because now during COVID, the stand-up comedy struggled, because now doing comedy online is a different thing altogether.
Mm.
Because comedy is an in-person sport, you gotta be there, you gotta feel the environment, you gotta be there, you gotta witness it. Because with the during COVID, like, it was because you find that you start doing the show, right? Like the joke that I just told you, my first joke
Mm.
about the pool. You start the joke, you have 20 people listen to the joke, right?
Mm.
And then halfway the joke, you have 10 people listen to the joke. And then before you do the punchline, you have 5 people. So you have people that are online listening to your comedy. No one has a clue as to what's going on. You know what I mean? So I think we also struggled post COVID because now we're competing with the digital space. You
Mm.
find that because the economy as well is a bit it's taker taking. You find that
Mm.
people choose to watch to laugh and watch comedy online as well. You know what I mean? So now I think we've adapted very nice. We got specials on thing on TV as well.
Oh,
Like
nice.
your Comedy Central, your Netflix as well. And then
Mm.
as comedians, we're getting more into the digital space as well, like our colleagues like your pop-ups and then the
Mm. Mm.
PNC on YouTube as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite fun. We're navigating the rough waters as well. But now, we the one thing that's not gonna happen, comedy will never ever be replaced because humans need to laugh. It's human nature to laugh, you know what I mean? Like I have dates lined up for Canada. We're going to the National Arts Festival of Makanda, you know. Post
Mm.
that, we got dates in the UK as well. So now we find that as South African comedians, like, we're getting out there because the world is hungry for SA comedy.
Yeah.
We have the guys like your Trevor Noah and your Loiso Kola. They've helped pave the way for us. So now comedy is huge. People are traveling. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's the streaming space. There's a huge demand for
Oh.
comedy within the comedy space there. So we're getting within the space as well, you know what I mean? And
Mm.
but live comedy would always be there. People should come through, watch us. We're doing multiple shows.
Awesome.
Currently we think there's a Celeste there's a show at Empress Palace coming through.
Mm.
And we saw the comedy festival at Soweto Theatre. I think a date to be announced as well. This coming Sunday, we are at the Artisan
Oh.
in Greenside as well at
Mm.
5 o'clock. So there's comedy all over. You're right. But now the one thing that we do as comedians, we're getting within the digital space because if you don't adapt, you die. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah.
now we adapting to the digital space where we do stand up comedy, but in a different format, but in a talk show format, like as we chat, we are able to do comedy through that as well. So it's quite
Mm.
exciting. We're looking forward to the challenges, and we're gonna, we're good. We are
Yeah.
making a living out of comedy because that's what we do.
Mm.
What you said earlier about the sitcoms as well, as comedians, so we make our money from stand-up comedy. We make our money from writing jokes for the sitcoms. We make our money from writing jokes for the
Yeah.
panelists that are the roast. Because like when you watch the roast of Helen Zillian, then the panelists they don't write the jokes. It's us comedians that write the jokes for them and the rehearse the
Mm.
jokes. You know what I mean?
Ah, I
Uh,
see. People always wonder as to how do you, but when then those that would be smart would see that these celebrities are reading. You're reading something.
oh,
You're,
please,
you're
Helen.
reading the joke. So
Oh no, they're not.
it does give
It's
away. Yeah, that
it's
this
us.
person
It's
is
us
reading.
that because as the roast has to be funny, so the broadcasters cannot take a risk of
Yeah.
relying on the panelists for the jokes because now what if the
Mm.
jokes not funny? So now what happens that we write the jokes and then afterwards we do rehearsals for like a whole week, where
Right.
Katlego would come through, then I'll say these are the jokes, Katlego, these are 10 jokes, one, two, three, four,
Mm.
five, 6, 7, 9, 10. and then you rehearse the jokes on your own. Then you come to the venue, you
Yeah.
rehearse the jokes with you. By the time the show comes through,
Yeah.
you're ready. You know what I mean? So it's one of those.
Out of
So, yeah.
time on Nagidiboni. I'm gonna be killed here because I'm going overboard. We have another guest that is on standby. But before we let you go, how do we follow your work? Who are you on social media? Do you have a residency as well where people can follow you and go to if they want to interact with your work?
Yes, it's Kidiboni Murauzi on Instagram. That's Murauzi without the I.
Mm.
They can follow me there. And then now, yes, I do have a residency. The artisan in Greenside, we do a residency there every second Sunday between
Ah.
5 and 7 p.m. And also in 4 ways, we have a comedy club called the Comedy Market. It's within the Montelavu Hotel. It's every Friday at Montelavu, the Comedy Market. That's 50 Turaco Street in 4 ways. So yeah, people can come through and we can connect on Instagram. That's Kidiboni Murauzi. They should follow me, then they can check my thing, my lineup everywhere, my posters as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's give it up for Kidiboni Mulauzi.
Thank you, Joe, for waking me up. This was fun. And then, just say hi to the next guest as well.
Yeah, we'll do. We'll do. Kidiboni, thank you very much, man, for giving us your time. Everything of the best. Don't be a stranger. Come through, come into the studio when you have some time, and let's just, let's break the ice.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Really appreciate it, man. Kidiboni Mulauzi coming through here as a stand-up comedian, just helping us understand the work of stand-up comedians, but the comedy space. We're talking here about the art of stand-up comedy and how then we find him navigating this space, moving along as we go about. So I want us to break a bit. I told you that we closed the show off with Meth 86. He's here, an artist, a musician, a TV, radio, drama actor, a songwriter as well, coming through to really just give us a sense of where we find him in this space. He's dropped a new single as well. He's an artist, remember? So he's dropped a new single. So he's coming back here on the show to tell us all about it. He's no stranger to this platform. He was here. He's been here before. But this morning, he'll just give us a sense of where we find him. Also, he'll tell us about this new single that he's dropped.